So, as you have been ambassador of Indonesia since 2018, I would like to ask you, what's your view of being the Indonesian ambassador to Argentina? So, and how is the bilateral relations going?
Well, I must admit that I'm honored to be Indonesian ambassador to Argentina. This is a great country, great responsibility that I have to carry on my duty. But you know, being ambassador of Indonesia to Argentina is a very dynamic and challenging, as I believe, because you know the distance and the information gap between the two countries about the potential of the two is very big. So my mission is to draw Argentina closer to Indonesia and vice versa. It needs plenty of creativity and determination. I can say that it's not difficult, but it needs more effort. But I'm helped with how create the bilateral relation between Indonesia and Argentina at the government level. High-level visit that often become the indicator of the excellent bilateral relation has been done by both sides recently. Even President Cristina Fernandez at that time in 2013 visited Indonesia. And last year, I believe we have a high-level visit from President Macri and Vice President Gabriela Michetti too. That's from Argentina side. And from Indonesia side, we also facilitate the visit of the chair of Indonesian Upper House Parliament, Hidayat Nur Wahid. This is the highest official from Indonesia, you know, is the chair of the parliament. And the Minister of Trade also visited Argentina. And the most important thing is the communication between the high-level official, especially between the foreign minister, is always in a good platform. You know, both ministers always meet at the sidelines of the UN, at the G20 meeting, and in other multilateral fora. So this is my modalities to increase the bilateral relation between Indonesia and Argentina. And in terms of trade, I should say also that we have very good trade relation with Argentina, even though we import more from Argentina. But what we import is very essential for our industry, especially for the agro industry. The total trade between two countries is around $2 billion US. This is the third largest in Latin America. It has increased around 6.2% in the last 5 years. So Argentina actually is our second largest trading partner in South America, after Brazil, of course. But as I mentioned before, the balance is not that good because we are the surplus is with Argentina. We suffered deficit around $1.6 billion. So it is, again, my mission, not only the government official visit and people-to-people contact, but the most important thing is in the economic and trade sector. We have to bridge the information gap between our tradesmen, because they don't know what the potential of trade in the two countries. This is not only happen in Argentina, but also in Indonesia. There are so many Indonesian businessmen doesn't know what to export or what to import from Argentina, for instance. So if I may say, that's my call as ambassador Indonesia to Argentina.
Okay, thank you. So, changing the topic. We know it's hard to stay in this difficult situation far away from your country. So I would like to ask you, what have you learned about this well, during this lockdown here in Argentina?
Well, pandemic is new experience for everyone, every country, including for Argentina. I see that despite the significant increase in the cases lately in Argentina, especially in Buenos Aires, Argentina is still one of the best countries tackling this pandemic in the region. You may compare with the numbers of the casualties of the cases. My observation also, COVID-19 cases do not spread much in other provinces in Argentina. The only area that mostly hit is a big city. I mean, the big city, like for instance in Buenos Aires, Provincia, and city, and also Cordoba, Santa Fe, all of big cities. But like many cases in other countries, it needs special attention to prevent the proliferation of disease in the large cities, including in Jakarta too. So in this regard, I appreciate the Detect program in AMBA for stopping the spread. By doing this, I believe that you can trace who has the COVID-19 and then you may stop it. The swift action of both central government and provincial government, I also appreciate. They move hand in hand to overcome the disease. This is also worth emulating for Indonesia and also for the world. The unity of policy is really needed to stop the pandemic. You may see from the news around the globe how it is difficult to come into one platform, how to tackle the pandemic. Okay, but Argentina, I believe, both government and central government and provincial government, and also the people also follow what the government policy. So, having the third largest population in South America, I believe the number of cases in Argentina is very, very low. I believe that this will come to end in the near soon. And I also see that even though in Buenos Aires is very high, but in other provinces very low. So other provinces have started a new life, I believe, because only Buenos Aires city and province are now back to the phase 1. I hope it soon will be, release all the phases.
So,
and if I may, Lumina, if I may add one more, this is very, for me, is very touching, Public awareness in Argentina, I believe, is applauded, very much applauded by me. I'm impressed on how the people in Argentina can manage themselves despite more flexibility permitted by the government just recently. Yeah, you know that Argentina has a very dynamic and very expressive culture, right? They like to dance, they like to go out, socialize, right? Merienda is a, occasional dining outside the house, in the terrace, parisa, and many activities that used to be their daily life, way of life. Now they are willing to stop it. This is a very touching for me because it's not easy. It's not very easy to do that. So I hope with this discipline we can overcome this pandemic and can be a good example for my country and other countries.
Okay, so going to your country, how is this COVID situation affecting your country, no, Indonesia?
Well, like other countries I mentioned before, Indonesia is also affected by COVID-19. The first casualty was identified on March 2nd. Okay, this very little bit late after China and Europe. But as now, 29th of June, yesterday maybe, the virus has infected like 55,000 people in Indonesia. But out of 55,000, 23,800 recovered. So this is almost half of the people is recovered. But the casualty also high is 2,800 died. The casualty was happened in the early stages when we are not prepared with the medical equipment, the hospital is not ready, so the casualty is very high at that time. Now, as in Argentina, East Java province and Jakarta metropolitan area are the hardest hit region in Indonesia. Right? But if I also have to say, we still have 66 regencies and cities that are considered green zone, or never have been infected by COVID-19. So this is a very good news. Only around 12% total regency and cities in Indonesia. So to overcome the COVID, of course, like Argentina, the government also handling COVID-19 quite well, I believe. We provide a new hospital. We have like 800 referral hospital with capacity of 4,000 beds. Our testing capacity right now is 13,000 per day in like 154 laboratories. And so far, almost 500,000 people have been tested. So this is how we contain our effort to contain the COVID. Like you too in Argentina, we also closed the border. Up till now, the border is still closed and the status of pandemic is still on. There are various measures that we done to overcome this, including forbid the foreigners to come to Indonesia. Only those who have special permit who can visit Indonesia till now. So hopefully with all those measures, we can also overcome COVID-19 in the near future.
Okay, so many experts are now speaking about the new normal and the new normality. How will be the new Indonesian? What do you think about your daily life? How will it change because of this coronavirus?
Yes, new normal actually is normal itself, because we never did that normal thing. For instance, washing your hands, So it is, actually what we have to do right now is just do the way a healthy life way. Okay. I can say like this, people in Indonesia at the beginning of the pandemic were very scared, like all of us. But actually, we should be scared if we didn't follow the strict health protocol. Okay? The government of Indonesia, since the beginning, did not deploy or implement total lockdown. People may ask why you did not implement the total lockdown like in Argentina. It is because, you know, every country has different situation, and every COVID-19 cases are different. In Indonesia, with a large country, large population, it has 17,000 islands. You cannot make a total lockdown of 17,000 islands. How can you monitor it? You have to deploy, how many people to deploy to monitor the total lockdown? So it's difficult. But at the end, we realized that special region, special city needs special measure. That's why the government then issue rules that region or city who has a very high cases, they have to implement what we call it large-scale social restriction, or it's like a lockdown. But we didn't call it lockdown. It is implemented in the regional level. So it's up to the region whether they see it's important to implement this measure or not. This is because, as I mentioned before, it's a large territory and the cases in each region are different. So by this way, the restriction does not affect all economic activities. After this special measure, we see that the cases began to decline. But the pandemic status remain in force. What does it mean? It means that to reactivate the economy, the government has to prepare the public to enter the new normal phase. So the new normal phase the government is preparing for the people is what the president, my president said is, you have to adjust yourself, you have to comply with the health protocol, but if you have to go out to do your economic activity, please do it cautiously. The government, as mandated by the rules, they have to provide rules, they have to provide the guidance, they have to provide monitors. So people will feel safe if they go out to do their economic activities. The rules that we are implemented recently, just like other countries, to maintain social distancing. So public transportation operates only like 50% capacities. Passenger, of course, has to wear masks. It is obligatory. Yeah. And office, if they would like to open their office and the employee come to work at the office, they also have to observe the health protocol very strictly. They have to check the temperature. They have to rearrange their table, working space. So very strict health still apply, even though at the religious facility. I'll show you pictures of how we do at the mosque. We pray in the mosque. We sit next side by side, very closely. But now people realize that if you want still to pray in the mosque, this is the rules. And thanks God they obey. So this is the new normal that we have to accept it. We have to accept it. Otherwise, we cannot, have a life that is normal, our normal life. So whatever it takes to regain, to retake our normal life, we have to do it right now. So government do whatever it can to provide the guidance. for the people. That's what I can say. What Indonesia is not doing, what the new normal looks like. So nowadays in Indonesia, except for Jakarta and East Java, normal life is there. If you go to Sumatra in Aceh province, it's normal life. If you go to Kalimantan Island, it's normal life because there was no COVID over there. But people still has to observe the health protocol, of course. Okay.
Okay. So now moving to economics, as you said, this virus is affecting economy. So I would like to know which sectors are heavily impacted with this pandemic. Is it tourism?
Well, as pandemic forbid us to travel, even within our own country, it's very obvious that the economic sector hits very hard is the tourism sector. I can say tourism is in a broad sense. Tourism is not only traveling, but also related activities to tourism. For instance, like restaurant, outdoor activities, hotel, rental of the cars, okay, culture performances, sport event. That's all tourism sectors. Yeah, that's the most hit up till now. But this is not happened only in Indonesia. The shrinkage of global economy in 2020 is predicted all over the world. WTO itself predicted that the reduction of 8% of growth. World Bank also predicted 5.2%, and IMF predicted of 3%. This is not all good prediction. In Indonesia, in case of Indonesia, Asia Development Bank also projected that Indonesia will only grow like 2.5% this year if we manage to overcome this COVID by, let's say, July or August. If not, it will be shrink more deeper. Okay? As I mentioned before, one of our economic impact by COVID is tourism. You see that 10% of our GDP is around $1 trillion US, depends on tourism sector itself. In 2019, 16 million foreign tourists visited Indonesia. And this year, I believe, tourism is expected to drop dramatically because we still close the border, we still forbid foreigners to come. But the good news is there are some airlines that is ready to fly to Indonesia from foreign country. For instance, Qatar Airlines, we fly to Indonesia, to Bali especially, in the near future. So this situation, however, I see as a momentum to change. A momentum for Indonesia to change, to be ready to face a new normal in global relation, global economy, global activities, especially in tourism industry. The tourism industry, tourism sector, already, as I may say, acknowledge the challenge, and they are already very creative in providing new normal tourism in Indonesia. Like they're going to provide a premium class tourism segment with all health protocol. So tourism sector is the most creative sector in Indonesia. So I believe even though now we experience a drop in tourism sector, but it very soon will revive. That's my belief, and I understand that you will realize very soon. I will also, with your permission, Lumina, I will show you one short video, 4-minute video on Bali, how they provide new normal tourism sector.
Okay, thank you.
Just a second.
Our team has been diligently putting in place elevated safety and sanitation protocols, adhering to the WHO guidelines to prepare for when you are ready to travel again. For general safety, please ensure that masks are worn all the time when you are at Mulia. Our team continuously monitors incoming guest body temperature through a thermal scanner at our lobby. Implementation of safe distancing in public areas will take place, including a screen protector on information and services desk, as well as a limited capacity per vehicle when it comes to transfer services. Upon arriving in the resort, all incoming luggage is sanitized. Our staff are required to wear masks at all times with a strict practice on self-hygiene. Sanitized stationaries are provided for guests upon registration. Hand sanitizers would be something guests would conveniently find across the resort with high visibility. We also increase the frequency of cleaning and sanitizing of all common public areas in the resort, as well as high touch point areas such as guest rooms, elevators, door handles, railings, restaurants and kitchens, using international standard disinfectants, and the use of electrostatic machines when high intense disinfection is needed. Additional room amenities such as masks and sanitizer will also be available for your convenience. Diners can now dine with ease, as all restaurants are adhering to strict guidelines, adapting to the new normal, such as sanitizing of restaurant areas after each meal period, including tables and chairs, as well as proper implementation and strict supervision of all staff hygiene and sanitation policies. After a proper body temperature check and hand sanitization, guests can dine at the assigned table, now with additional spacing between all tables and seating a minimum of 6 feet apart, with a maximum seating of 4 people per table. Safe food practices are done as recommended, including providing well-cooked meats and temporary removal of uncooked dishes in all restaurants. We have also adopted a low-touch approach wherever possible during the stay experience. Mulia has extended an enriched program and menus with an emphasis on wellness and immune boosting to promote a healthy body, mind, and spirit. Our state-of-the-art gym practices social distancing on all programs, as well as a daily deep cleaning of all equipment and sanitizing with medical-grade disinfecting solution containing 70% alcohol after each usage. Signs like this are placed at various locations to indicate the safety policy in detail. Should you require further information, our team will be more than happy to assist you. As the new normal continues to develop, Mulia Bali is committed to constantly adapting and implementing new and available technologies or systems to ensure a safe environment for all staff. Stay safe, stay inspired, and keep the wanderlust alive.
That's one of our resorts in Bali. Just a sample. There are many resorts like this already implement such a health protocol in their hotel facilities.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the video. just one more question, okay? You said that Indonesia has to change, no, in the future. So I would like to know what you think this pandemic situation is helping to set a new position in the global system, and how will this help maybe the position of Indonesia?
Absolutely, you are right that never waste a good crisis, because crisis always provide opportunity to force us to think, to be creative. The pandemic disrupt the market, it's obvious, and can be good opportunity for us, Indonesia, to improve its position on the global value chains. See, for instance, many countries must reactivating its economy after the pandemic. And this most likely start from their national industry. Okay? You have to reactivate your national industry. Indonesia shall seize this opportunity to increase export that have been a primary strength of Indonesia. Like we are the major rubber exporter, spare part, and footwear. Business and government worldwide are also looking to diversify their production because the supply chain has been disrupted. Okay, one way to diversify this situation is having more worldwide operation. If I say worldwide, means that Indonesia have to talk with other countries, right? Ask them to possible relocation of their companies who operating in maybe in countries that are still high the cases. In China, for instance, relocate US or Japan company in China to Indonesia. So far, I heard that 20 companies shown their interest in relocating to Indonesia. What we do to provide them, so they would like to relocate the companies or the manufacturer to Indonesia. We provide with like 2,700 hectares industrial park, okay, with special economic zone, with tax incentive. We also provide like special economic zone like 4,000 hectares in other areas. So in Java itself is about 6,700 already hectares. Okay, this development of industrial zone is part of our effort to attract foreign investor. Okay, we also have in not in Java, in Sumatra, for instance, in Bintan. We have like Bintan Aerospace Industry. We have Tanjung Ending. We have also say Mungke. There are nine economic zone in Sumatra. Also the rest of the country, like for instance in province of Maluku, in Madura, in Sulawesi, and also in West Papua, we develop a special economic zone. Indonesia also has a good reputation for the investment. In terms of competitive industrial performance index, we are ranked 38 globally. So in ease of doing business also, bless you. In ease of doing business also, in 2020, the index, the ranks of Indonesia is 9 in Asia Pacific region and 733 globally. So I believe that this is the time for Indonesia to reap the opportunity to become member of global value chains, because our industry is ready, our facility is ready, we have abundance of workman manpower. We have abundance of natural resources. So I just want to say like we are ready for our next step, becoming emerging and developing country.
Okay, thank you. So, well, that was all. If you don't have anything else to share with us, that's the end of the interview. We hope that we can do another interview maybe next month or maybe for your National Day, so we can talk about other specific topics. And so I would like to thank you again for your time and